good. We have different skill sets.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's super key to a really good partnership because, you know, I often say this in our own team. My team would fail professionally if I surrounded myself with people that were exactly like me, right? And so I think it's really cool that we offer that to the business as well.
Richard Fortin Presents. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sweet 16 Studio. I am Richard Fortin and you're watching Richard Fortin Presents, and today we're twisting things up. It ain't some hip-hop upcoming rapper dash punk that I love. By the way, I love these punks that I've been interviewing. I love them. Today, I'm with 11 North. That's what it's called, right, girls?
You got it, yeah.
I have Kristina and Nicole in the studio with me. So welcome to 11 North. Kristina, Nicole.
Thank you.
You made it.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you
really happy
so
to be
much.
here. Thank you.
I want to hear the story of how you guys decide. You come from different worlds, different paths.
Totally.
You both have different stories and have come together to launch this brand, this lifestyle brand, 11 North, that I love and is obviously super successful because everything's sold out right now. If you go today, by the time this airs, maybe you'll be totally restocked. But as of today, things are totally looking amazing because things are really moving.
Things are moving, yeah.
So Nicole, tell me about your background and how you ended up making this happen.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was so lucky. We moved here 5 years ago, and Kristina and I, we immediately became friends. So first of all, it was a wonderful friendship that started. But I moved from London, Ontario. My husband is a North Bay boy, and we were in London for 10 years, and we really wanted to move up north. We really wanted to raise our children here, be on the lake, and just enjoy the lifestyle that Northern Ontario has. So we started as friends, and then we were at the cottage last year when COVID kind of broke out in 2020 at Kristina's cottage, and we were sitting there thinking, like, we're pretty damn lucky. Like we wouldn't want to be anywhere else in this pandemic other than where we were right in that moment, right?
Complain about. We were like, this is okay. We're good.
Yeah. And so from there we just sort of thought Northern Ontario needs to be celebrated. I really appreciate it because I'm from the outside coming up, and I think Kristina offers like a totally different perspective from growing up here. But we thought, more people need to understand what's north of Muskoka, right? And that, one of our taglines is a little further north, things change. And, so for me, I'm super proud to be in North Bay and representing Northern Ontario. And I realize, that it has a lot of really unique, special qualities when you embrace it.
Yeah, that's super well said. So Kristina, how did you end up being interested in developing a new lifestyle brand for Northern Ontario?
I think it just sort of morphed. Like Nick and I had a conversation and we were talking about just how things have changed, like Shopify, shopping online, and like
how comfortable we all are with that now.
Exactly. And then just I think we started first about like the idea of like, is it curating? Is it like sharing things that we love? And it's like often a joke, like if I have something that I love, I'm gonna have it in 3 different colors, and but it's just like Nick and I both, like when we find things that we like, we really like them. And so we were talking, I think the conversation sort of started there with, certain things that we use in our own lifestyle, like with our kids and in our everyday, and thinking of maybe sharing that with others and using a Shopify platform. And then it just sort of morphed into more, like as we started talking, and it's just a celebration, pride of place. And it was just, Nick had just left the cottage.
This is great.
And I'm lying in bed with my husband, and I sort of sat up and I'm like, 11 North, like it all, like it's just, that's the road we're taking up to North Bay. And then as Nick and I presented her the idea, she's like, yeah, that's super cool. And we were making connections about it being like the longest highway. And, she would have been driving 11 North as we were having conversations, like Googling different ideas.
And collaborating, right?
And collaborating back and forth. And so it just sort of naturally came from just a really great weekend. Like we're fortunate that our kids love each other, our husbands get along great. It was just really just an extension of a conversation, right? And so here we are.
Really, our lifestyle, right? So Kristina and I, we joked and said, this right now this is not a brand that's highly technical as far as, you know, the hiking and maybe rock climbing and those sort of things. This is a lifestyle brand where we want to create classic, comfortable pieces that people will pull out and be like, my ELEVENNORTH sweatshirt is like my favorite and I always wear it around the campfire, right? Or this is the blanket I take out to the dock to, you know, snuggle my littles. And those are the things that we use every single day. And so we thought we need to create those best basics for people that they can enjoy and be really comfortable in.
So how do you decide where you're gonna find things and how you're gonna find those?
I think that you've hit what's been the hardest, the challenge is where do you start? Okay, you have this idea and you know what you want, but it's like, okay, how to get there? And I think that for us has probably been the journey of the last year, and I think that the collection that's coming out now definitely more represents us than that first collection of just needing to get started.
Yeah. You know, it was really important for us, Richard. We talked a lot about this, was that as the brand evolved, we wanted our sources to become closer and closer to home, because we also really wanted to boast Northern Ontario and the amazing business owners that are in the region. But as we got started, we were able to source within Canada. But now that we're getting closer to this next collection, we're actually really proud to say we've been able to source 80% of what we have from within like a 300 to 500 kilometer radius.
That's amazing.
And our designers are local to Northern Ontario, right? Which is really, really cool. So yeah, sourcing was probably the number one like pain point, if you'd like, because this is not our background, right? Like this is, you know, this learning curve is huge on this one. But we had some really great friends in the industry and people that were great about giving us some advice or, you know, go-to areas. And like Kristina said, we really feel like we've landed in the right spot on this next collection that's going to be coming out.
So in terms of your branding, where are you guys finding the platform that works or platforms that work? Is it an Instagram friendly type crowd? Like that's what I'm sensing. You're really strong on Instagram.
Yeah, and Nicole's been amazing at really like taking the reins on that side of the business, and I've been so proud to see like the amazing time and effort that goes, because that's definitely like not where my strong suit is. But yeah, we're getting amazing feedback on those channels.
Well, Shopify is amazing because it shows us, you know, by having that online platform, it actually gives us the intelligence to understand where our audience is, right? And so I love that because I'm a metrics girl and I do marketing as a living, right? So it's really great to see that, you know, we knew our demographic was on Instagram for the most part, and we've now delved into Facebook in these last few months because there's a whole other demographic on there that wants our presence, and that's wonderful. But yeah, we really saw steam pick up on Instagram, and it's been really fun to do some collaborations with local businesses, to be able to give our audience some great giveaways, and then just to really be plugged in as far as what's happening in the community. So, you know, we were able to participate in Oktoberfest with New Ontario. We did some fun stuff with the workshop with their fall market. We had a beer this summer. Yeah, we can talk about that. Do you want to talk about the beer?
I want to talk about the beer. I want to talk about the actual store. You guys have a physical...
so 2 pop-up locations
now for the holiday season, right? So yeah, let's start with the beer. Do you want to start? Who wants to start with the beer? How did that happen?
So it was it was a conversation with New Ontario, and decided that you know, a collaboration would be I guess like beneficial to both, right? Like it was a neat new concept for Northern Ontario. New Ontario brews great beer right on that 11 North corridor.
So good branding for us.
So good branding, yeah. So it was sort of, and then it was just from there, like meeting the people at New Ontario, going and doing the beer sampling. Like really having the opportunity to try a couple different beers and landing on the one that we felt best suited sort of our demographic, and that sort of like cold beer goes down easy, nice, clean, crisp.
What did the brewmaster say? He said like, this is highly crushable.
Highly crushable, yeah.
Like, perfect.
And we're like, okay, we'll do that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to, you know, do a bit of a nod to Northern Ontario. Cheers to Northern Ontario summers. We knew that this summer would be a lot better than last. Things were opening up. People had a really long winter. So we just thought, you know, this is a celebration. We're launching the brand. People need to celebrate summer in Northern Ontario. And it was really fun working with Mike and the crew, Christian down at New Ontario doing that.
Yeah, they're super collaborators. I've worked with them in the past.
And so even from the label, like we took that sort of a little further north, things changed, and Nick and I sort of like brainstormed and then worked with Adam Vaughn in town and just kind of went back and forth, and it was that
super talent.
Yeah. And it was
done all the, I think
he does all most of their labels.
Yeah,
and he's been
Adam
a great
Vaughn,
resource.
props.
And so and so it was coming up with like that, like how do you tell a story on a can, and how do you, and so it's that sort of notion of, okay, going from like the high rises of the city and that, feeling condensed and things are busy, but as you take that drive, you slowly feel things open up.
The space.
And then what kind of, where you land in the end. And so I think he did a really great job of capturing that. And
he joked with us, right? He was like, Nick and Chris, like, I only have so much real estate on a can. And we're like, we know you can do this, Adam, right? And he totally delivered. And it's just that feeling, right? Kristina describes it beautifully, like when you go around that bend at Gravenhurst, right? And that big rock, right? That one corner. And then just like you're here, you're on the lake, you're jumping off the dock, right? And just enjoying a different pace. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the beer sold out, was gone by the middle of August. So we were happy about that.
That's awesome. And now you're going to have pop-up locations.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about these pop-ups. Where are they? How do people get to them?
Sure, yeah. So the first pop-up that we opened was actually near your location. So we're at 406 Lakeshore Drive at the workshop. We love the space. It's highly collaborative. I think it's really cool what Kim and Carrie have done, where they've brought, artisans and makers and small businesses together to be able to house, their goods and their merchandise. So we're popped up there for a little bit. And then just this weekend, we opened in sunny Sundridge.
That's
so
awesome.
we're at 89 Main. And so she has a really cool model too. It's 89main.ca. And they do a hybrid model, much like us, where they have an in-store boutique and then they also offer online. So the trend in retail really is this hybrid model where, we found when we opened the online store, there was a lot of excitement. But I was answering DMs like crazy, and I said to Kristina, like, people want to feel the brand, like they want to try it on, they want to see it, right? So it was really cool that we were able to just do a pop-up over here at the workshop, and now that we have our second location, so that people are really able to experience the brand in person. Because
the idea of the whole, like when 11 North came to be, it was at a time where Nicole and I were slowed for the first time, like the restaurant for me has been, full on 7 days a week, closed Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and that was all I knew. And so all of a sudden, I'm closed 2 days a week. It's only takeout and delivery, and I was able to thankfully keep all my staff on. So I wasn't needed as much, and that was a really weird feeling for me to go into work and not have.
I have a well-oiled machine here, and it works. I need some bigger fish to fry.
Right,
I'm gonna take this on.
But then life happens, and now we find ourselves where I don't think I've ever been busier with work, and I've never been more needed at my job. And so that's been a really big juggle. And so for us, being able to partner with the workshop in 89 Main has given us the ability to satiate that for our customers, like give them a place where they can go and see and touch and feel. But for us, this is just a passion project still, right? Like our main jobs are our jobs, and we've got kids at home and husbands, and so we fit in the nooks and crannies,
right? And that's the great thing about the partnership, right? Is that we're able to, delegate to one another and figure out, how we're going to fit it in.
So is this like a side hustle that one day we hope, takes,
we'll see,
you
right?
Just don't know.
Yeah,
but
we
that's
don't
kind
know.
of the idea, right? Because the brand is what you love. Like it
and
really
I would
does
never, I would
who you are, right?
Like Ivan's for me, I would never. That's in my blood. I grew up in the back of that kitchen, so for me.
You're
I would love.
that.
That is my.
But this is an artistic.
It's artistic,
and
really
you get to invest.
Neat.
That's what I mean. Like this is your art. Like this is something that's not just. It's not just to sell things. It's really to say something about a place, about our culture, about yourselves.
You got it. Totally, Richard.
And so it's not like it's a personal brand. It's not called Nick and Chris, but. when you get to know what you guys are doing, you sure see a lot of Nick and Chris in that, right?
Yeah. And it's a really fortunate place to be. Like, it's nice that we are both in careers that we love, and that we're able to have this outlet and be a little bit creative, because I think that it's important, especially when you reach like middle age.
Oh geez, don't say that. Still in my 30s.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to be. You feel.
It's like a new chapter.
You do.
It's like
you
a
want to
new
be able to
phase.
feel like there's different.
There's still growth.
Yeah, there's still growth, and that it's not stagnant. And as much as like sometimes it feels like there's just like so many balls in the air. You would rather it be like that than be looking for a ball, right?
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes a lot of sense.
And I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and my dad's a trained artist,
so
right?
Both
so like art is in my blood, right? It just comes in a different form for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So do you both do different things as part of the company? Like, do you have different, you obviously have different strengths, or do you, how does it actually work between
So I'll never forget, like, that's a great question, because we were in Christina's kitchen at the cottage, and I looked at her, I was like, so what are you really good at? And she tells me, and then she's like, and what are you really good at? And I told her, I'm like, good, we have different skill sets.
Okay, cool.
And I think that's super key to a really good partnership, because I often say this in our own team. My team would fail professionally if I surrounded myself with people that were exactly like me, right? And so I think it's really cool that we offer that to the business as well. We call it divide and conquer, and we're lucky.
And I think because we're best friends, we know, like, Nick knows when it's something that's out of my wheelhouse and I might need a little bit more encouragement, or where she's just going to take the reins on something, and then same with me. Like, there's some things that I know that it's better to be on my plate, and I think that coming into this, and like it being a partnership with a best friend, sometimes it's like, I miss my best friend because you don't have the same time to just, sit and have coffee, because we're trying to fit this into that nook and cranny space. But then it's knowing how to like take the best out of both of us to try to keep this ball rolling.
Well, it is beautiful what you guys are doing, and obviously the success from outside is a reflection of what you're putting in there, putting into it, so it comes back, right? So congratulations.
Thank
you.
It
really is an accomplishment. I know, as somebody who's tried to do totally different but totally similar, something like this, how it's not as easy as one might think, and it's great that both your families seem to be supporting. You come from entrepreneurial families, but I know your partners and your families are supporting too in their way. Yeah. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah,
that's part of the lifestyle.
Yeah. It is part of the lifestyle.
So attractive up here.
Yeah, and our children are similar ages, and it's really cool to see. We were in Sundridge, and the children saw a few people with the branded wear on, right?
And they're all proud.
I got back in the car, and they're like, Mom, we're seeing 11 North, right? And I think for them to see it move out of my dining room, or the boxes of inventory that are piling up in both of our homes, and actually see it in storefronts and see it on the people that live and work and play in Northern Ontario is really great. And we couldn't be more grateful. I can speak for both of us. The partners and the family, the supportive families we have is everything. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's nice. I love this story.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see it keep going and to see where you take it. I believe it's just the beginning.
Yes.
And I think that we're anxious to see where it goes, because we don't know. This has been just that one foot in front of the other, and having to just make some decisions. And it was a conversation this summer where I was like, okay, Nick, we just got to be we are the tortoise here. We need to just slow and steady, because
you don't want to burn out.
We don't want to burn out, and I don't want to ever for us to look back and have missed out on this precious time with the kids the age that they're at, and they're both super busy. And so it's that delicate balance between working the business and just seeing that it's moving forward, being proud about the decisions that we're making, but still making sure that we're living our 11 North life. It's never wanting to not.
That's a value. It's a value. That's a value of the brand.
So be it. Not just market it.
Exactly.
Let's be it.
And that's 100%. And sometimes we need to check ourselves with that, because it's about like really taking those moments and appreciating those sunrises and sunsets ourselves.
Because that's the inspo, right? That's the inspo behind the brand. So it's real, as I'm sure you know, it's easy to get caught up in, we want you to do this and this and this and say yes to it all. And we've had to empower each other to be able to say no to some things, right?
Steve
or
Jobs
just not right now, right?
Steve Jobs, the top designer, Richard Ive, I think his name is, or John Ive, he would say every day, he'd be like, how many things have you said no to today? Because the trick, when you're like, imagine you're Steve Jobs, you're like as rich as you can be, but the trick is to focus, right? And that's where the game's at. It's what you say no to that allows you to either, you know, really jet ahead on something or not. So the art of no.
The art of no, right? And being strategic with the yeses.
And being very strategic with the yeses. That's awesome. Well, I see nothing but success coming from you guys. I want to make sure we know where people who want to support 11 North, they know where to go.
You can follow us at ELEVENNORTH.LIFE. You can email us at info@ELEVENNORTH.LIFE, or you can send us a direct message on Facebook or Instagram, or visit www.elevennorth.life.
Perfect. Girls, thank you so much for coming in and doing this and telling your story. And we're going to be following you and following the progress and buying your shirts and everything else. Because there's more stuff. There's even like cases. We're going to see it on a lot of stuff.
And we're working with a lot of like local, so like candles, things like that. Like it's just, we have some great things, collaborations with some really great people. So
awesome. Check it out, folks. Talk to you soon. Thank you.